Good evening, guys. Today we're going to do genetic notes 4. This is your fourth set of genetic notes. This page is where we're going to start definitions, and I'm just going to explain this. It should only take less than 10 minutes. So the first thing I want to talk about, okay, is the law of segregation. This is the law of segregation. So when you think of segregation, you probably think about civil rights and about history class. But when we talk about segregation in biology, we're talking about something a little bit different, okay? So over here, we have this black sheep, okay? So we have this black sheep, and many of you guys also might know someone in your family who's a lot different from everyone else, okay? In my friend's family from high school, she is the only family member that does not have freckles. Everyone else just has freckles. So her mom has freckles and she does not have freckles. Her dad has freckles, she does not have freckles. Just like this sheep is black. So if you are a black sheep, okay, does that mean you have less of your parents' genetics? No. So we learned you inherit 50% of each parent's genetics. That brings us to the law of segregation. Okay? The law of segregation states that two things. First thing is an organism inherits, which means it gets, it inherits, two copies of each gene. Where does it get each gene from? If two copies of each gene, they can have different things on them. Sometimes they can be different, which is when it's called heterozygous. And sometimes each copy can be the same, which means it's homozygous. But you get one parent from who? One from each parent. So, okay. So I'm going to explain this in a second. So if we go over here to our Punnett square, I'm actually going to make a copy of this. Okay. We go over here to our Punnett square. Okay, let's say we have this, okay, big H, little h, big H, little h. When you do the Punnett square, this offspring over here, right over here, gets one copy from mom and one copy from dad. And they happen to be the same, which means they're homozygous. So that means this black sheep over here, that's 50% from dad, 50% from mom. It's not less their child. It's still their child. It's one copy of each trait from each parent. Okay? This one gets this one from mom, and this one from dad. This one gets this one from mom, this one from dad, mom, and dad. One copy from each. Okay, so you are half your mother's, you are half from your mom, half from your dad, biologically speaking. Okay? Sometimes you might look different, but your genes, you get one from each parent. Okay? Next rule of the law of segregation is, okay, when you grow up, you might want to have children, not now. Organisms, so when you do, organisms donate, this is kind of the reverse. One copy, only one copy of each gene to their sextile or offspring. So you can think of this as basically, if we go back to our Punnett square, okay, and we have down here, let's say we have mom, and her genotype is big H, big H. Okay. And here she has eggs. Okay. In each egg, you're only going to get one half this whole. So she's going to get half and half. So let's say we have dad, and he's big H, little h. So then in this sperm egg, he's going to get a big H, half his sperm, and half the sperm, he's going to get a little H. Okay? So that's half and half. Okay? So basically, every half is basically done with, it's all, it's segregated. So you can imagine if we take this genotype, big H, little h, okay, and we cut it in half, we split it up. One, you segregate it into different cells. Okay? That is a heptaplasm we're going to go back to. You see, organisms donate only one copy. They segregate their genotype into their sex cells. Okay? So next we have the law of independent assortment. So I like thinking, when I think of the law of independent assortment, I like to think about families like the Kardashians. Okay? So the Kardashians, okay, they all have something in common, right? Except for Bruce Jenner. He doesn't count. He's not, and we'll take away the younger kids too. They originally look at the old kids, okay? So the Kardashians all have something in common. They all have brown hair, okay? Alright? And let's say that's all in common. Things that are different is that you have gender, you have Rob, okay? And then you also have, let's say, Chloe has lighter skin, okay? And she's taller. Lighter skin, so these are the same, and these are different. Okay? Lighter skin and height. So Chloe looks a lot different. I'm going to show you Chloe. Chloe is right over here, and this isn't really the best picture, but she looks a lot different from the other ones. And basically, you think a lot of people have said to Chloe, like, you're not related to your family. But using the law of independent assortment, you can totally prove that she totally can be related. So, even though she has some similar characters. So, law of independent assortment, okay, says that traits are inherited separately or independently from one another. And so what that means, okay, so I'm going to explain. Example, okay, Chloe K got her mom and dad, her parents, dark hair, okay, but not their complexion, not their skin color or height, okay? Her siblings received their parents. You don't need to copy this down. You can just look at this. I'm writing this out so you can see this example. So her siblings received their parents' height, hair color, and skin color. Okay? Basically, what this shows us, okay, is there are separate Punnett squares separate or independent is a better word. There are independent Punnett squares for every gene. Okay? So if you can have one Punnett square for skin color, you can have one Punnett square for eye color, and another Punnett square for how your earlobe. You have lots of different ones. You don't work together. You have different combinations every time. They're independently assorted. So the law of independent assortment independently assorted. So get different combinations, and it doesn't matter like what the combinations are depending on other things. So that's independent assortment. Okay? Lastly, I just want to talk about the fact that the Kardashians is only one boy. Okay? So if you guys remember, the genotype for a boy is XY, right? And the genotype for a girl is XX. So if you have a mom and a dad, they typically have a 50% chance of having a boy or a girl. So you can even see this by looking at this Punnett square. 50% boy. Okay? So why in the Kardashian family is there only one boy? And that's because if you flip a penny over here, and you flip a penny, 3 times, you can get it's 50% chance every time. Okay? 50% chance every time. So for example, like my friend, his parents had 5 boys. Is there a chance of having a girl more than 50% if they have a 6th child? No. They have a girl, okay? They have, every time they make a baby, it's a 50% chance of having a boy. And his family with 5 children, that all are boys, or in the Kardashian family, it's 50% every time. So I hope you guys, please write questions you have down. I hope this helps make genetics make a little bit more sense, and these are important terms you need to know. Law of independent assortment, law of segregation. Good night.